Hey,
Hey,
why are you sideways?
I don't know. Because I'm a newbie,
Awesome.
that's why.
Good stuff. Well, we've got 58 people on, so let's get started. So, as you guys are all aware, I've been on a pretty cool healing journey over the last 15 years, and I like to say that I've pretty much tried every single thing on the planet, every modality, every which way it can be done, you name it. So lately I've been on a big kick about frequency and vibration and light and all kinds of stuff. And so I posted a post about the benefits of frequency. And sure enough, my guest, who's on the screen with me, reached out and said, "Hey, have you ever tried the harmonic egg?" And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And she was like, "Would you like to come and, give it a try?" And so I've done 2 treatments now, and it has been absolutely wonderful. So I invited Kathleen to come and have a conversation and talk a little bit about the egg. Are you frozen? Uh-oh, she's frozen. She is frozen. Hang on, I gotta write it back in. Uh-oh, I lost her. I lost her. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I lost you. So basically what I was saying to everybody is I posted a post about frequency and light and vibration and all this cool stuff. And you reached out to me and said, have you ever tried a harmonic egg? And I'm like, no, I haven't, but I would love to. And what was that? Was that a month ago I came for my first?
I think it was mid-January, I think, right before.
Yeah. So I went, and it was an amazing experience. And, as a person who is constantly in a high state of anxiety, after the session, I said to Kathleen, I was like, I don't think I've ever felt this calm in, like, I can't remember how long. So it was a really cool experience. So maybe explain to everybody like how you found the harmonic egg.
Sure. I started down my own healing journey probably about 4 years ago when I was having a lot of personal medical issues that Western medicine was essentially saying, like, there's nothing wrong with you. And my physical body was actually saying, that's not actually true, right? And so I just started looking for different healing modalities. I started with finding a Reiki practitioner and just kind of went down the energy medicine route. And then I started practicing energy medicine myself. I became a Reiki practitioner, and then I've taken a lot of other kind of classes around angelic healing and shamanic healing and just different modalities of how we can support ourselves in different ways. Mm-hmm. And then I was actually watching a streaming service that's called Gaia.
Yeah.
And they're named Regina Meredith. She was interviewing Gail Lynn, who's the inventor of the harmonic egg. And I sat there and I watched Gail's video and just heard her talking about the harmonic egg and what it was all about. And I just thought, wow, I really need to try this. And so I Googled it, and the closest center to me wasn't going to be open for another 6 months. So I signed up 6 months ahead. And after probably being in the egg by probably about 4 or 5 times, when I was sitting in there, I remember thinking to myself, I think I need to do this. And so, so I just kind of started the process towards getting my own center and getting my own egg and what that all entails. And so now here we are. We're the second egg that's in Calgary. There's quite a few. We've got over 140 harmonic eggs worldwide right now. Wow. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so what was it about this particular thing that inspired you to get an egg, start a business, all this stuff?
For me, it was around the fact that we are our own best healers, right? I see have seen a lot of other energy medicine workers, and I still do, have my team of healers that I definitely rely on. But one of the most amazing things I think about the harmonic egg is the fact that we're putting ourselves into this state of resonance and relaxation where we're balancing out our nervous system. We're bringing in the parasympathetic nervous system. We're taking ourselves out of that fight and flight and that trauma response that most of us are so used to being in. For those of us that have ADHD and anxiety and high stress and have had a lot of trauma in our lives, getting out of that fight and flight response and getting into that state of rest and digest is a complete game changer, in my opinion, right? And so then our body actually, we're putting ourselves in a place where we're actually able to start healing ourselves. And so for me, it's super empowering, right? Like, we're not relying on other people. We're not giving our energy over to other people. It's us, it's vibration, tone, and frequency. It's our own personal intention and what we're ready to move into. A lot of people that I see here talk about the fact that when we go in, we do different types of therapies and stuff like that, whether it's talk therapy or, telling our story to other people. A lot of times we're re-traumatizing ourselves from what we've had to go through in the past. And so with the harmonic egg, we just sit there with ourselves and, we're able to heal that traumatized part of ourself, or that part of ourself that's holding dis-ease or aches and pains or things that our body are just trying to get us to pay attention to, and we're able to do it ourselves. So
yeah. I'd been following a lot of different healers and whatnot, and they all come from the same space that we do have the ability to heal ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it's just a matter of finding sort of your formula which helps you do that. And one of the amazing things is when you decide that you are going to go down this path and go down this road, you're actually manifesting without even knowing that you're manifesting. You know what I mean? And so how we met was just me setting an intention in my mind that I wanted to seek out and find all of these incredible tools that have been hidden for centuries. And as simple as throwing out a 5-paragraph thing about frequency, and then you show up and here we are 2 sessions in. I got another one booked for Friday, and so maybe explain the process. So you have a center, or there are different centers around Canada. I believe it's Harmonic Egg Canada.
Yeah.
Is it?
So there's actually Harmonic Eggs. We're worldwide, so we're on 4 continents now. There are Harmonic Egg Canada is one of the places where you can go to find our locations. And then there's harmonicegg.com, which has our wide locations for anybody who's interested in finding the closest one to them.
So you go, you find a place that has an egg. What are the steps moving forward?
So typically what people do, for the most part anyways, each center is completely different. And so at our center, we just ask that people fill out a little intake package. It gives us an idea of where they're coming from a physical standpoint, the aches and pains, the dis-ease that's going on in their body, what they might be going through on an emotional standpoint, what they might be going through from a spiritual standpoint. And really it just kind of gives us a jumping off point to start a conversation of, what is your intention? What are you wanting to work on going forward? like I said before, you know, the beautiful thing about this is that we work with intention. So you are the driver and you get to decide what you're ready to step into and what you're not ready to step into. And so then from there, we have people come in and we just sit, we have a little bit of a conversation. We talk about, you know, some things that they can expect to find when they're in the harmonic egg. A lot of aches and pains can come to the surface from old injuries and stuff like that. There's some emotional release that can happen. So we talk about just kind of what might occur for them when they're in the egg. Then we set the intention. As a practitioner, you know, my job is to figure out the song piece and the light choice, and just to take everything that we've talked about and see, you know, what song piece is going to be the most beneficial for you with your intention and what kind of is going on for you in your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Then we put you into the egg. It's a 50-minute session. So it's 40 minutes of music followed by 10 minutes of silence. And then after the 10 minutes of silence, I'll come in and I'll ring a bell to let you know that your session's over, open up the door, and then we just sit down and have a little chat about, you know, if there's anything that people want to share about what they've experienced in the egg. You know, I'm always super fascinated to hear because everybody's so different, right? Yeah, and then we just kind of go from there. And then, you know, we always recommend people do a minimum of 3 sessions just to kind of get started to see what the egg can do for them. And then depending on what your goals are or what your intentions are going forward for health and wellness, we can kind of customize a package for you for what you want to be working on going forward. So yeah.
So let's go through when you're actually in the egg, what that particular song that you pick, what is that actually doing for you? And then let's talk about, you know, the different different colors of lights and what that does for you as well.
Absolutely. Okay. So when you're in the egg, essentially what we've done when we've chosen the song that's going to be, you know, best for each person that's in there, we're dealing with frequency. We're actually dealing with Gail has actually found a very unique way of using instruments. So each of the instruments that we use in all of the songs resonate with different emotions, with different chakras, and different internal organs. And so what happens a lot of times is tones, notes, and frequencies kind of come into the harmonic egg while we're in there. It comes into contact, into a resonance of an energetic signature of something, of what's going on within us, whether that, again, be from the mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual standpoint. And what it does is, again, we're in that deep state of relaxation. We're stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system. And so we're really rewiring the brain. We're reprogramming thoughts. We're getting back to a state of balance in our body so that we can hear things differently from a soul perspective. We can experience things differently from a physical perspective. We can let go of a lot of our traumas that we have trapped in our bodies, and just come to a place of more centered loving and peace, really. Right. Yeah.
And because the egg is made out of this, it's made out of a very ancient wood, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when that music is playing, there's actually vibration happening as well, but you don't actually feel the vibration, right?
Well, there's certain songs that definitely have a lot more of that. When you're dealing with drumming and didgeridoos and all of that kind of stuff, you definitely can feel it a lot more when you're in there. But, you know, for the most part, I would say, especially when we're working on the nervous system, you know, we're in that state of nice relaxation where, yeah, we're not really dealing with that jolting or that things that's going to really kind of shake things up for us. We're more wanting to work on that state of relaxation.
So now the light, I know that my first session, I picked purple and kind of a yellowish green. So why is that important?
Okay, so typically when people come in, you know, each center practitioner is going to be different. For myself, quite often what I'll do is I just kind of close my eyes and see what colors kind of show up around the person. And again, depending on what we're working on. So when we are working on, the parasympathetic system, we're using blues, we're using purples, we're using colors that are going to be nice and calming. Blue actually stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, right? We're also, from an energy medicine perspective, we're also working on chakras and stuff like that, right? So we're working on our connection to source. We're working on our throat chakra, our third eye, our crown chakra, and just so we also use green as well. So for me, green is your heart chakra, right? I think that we're stepping into a time right now where we're all needing a lot of heart healing, and we're needing a lot more love on this planet. And so green is one of my favorite colors, definitely, to use in the heart for for people who have a lot of heart walls that have been built for different kinds of reasons, from trauma or emotions or anything like that, right? What we're doing is we're just tapping back into that universal love state and that connection to everybody and all that is, and just that peace and that beauty that is really why I think we're all here. So yeah.
Well, I know because we worked on the throat chakra the last session.
Yeah.
And I used to be really phlegmy, and I don't have any phlegm.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, my two experiences have been like incredible. And like I said, I've tried, pretty much everything that's out there, and the simple fact that, I don't, because most of the therapeutic stuff, like, you have to go back into the trauma, right?
Yeah.
Or you have to speak about the trauma, you know what I mean? And unless you're in a place where, the therapist you're working with is a safe person and they know what they're doing, then you'll have a good experience. But if you don't have that connection, like, it could really, really set you back. So what I love about the harmonic egg is, because I know so much about myself, and I know so much about all of my traumas that I had, and I know about colors, I know about frequencies, I know about vibration. I just love the harmonic egg because I know exactly what I need to work on, and then you just dial it up, and I sit in there and I come out, and because I'm a person who's always lived in a very high state of fear and anxiety. And I can tell you, over the last month, I can actually feel my anxiety starting to dissipate. You know what I mean? And that's the gift of this modality is I just, and it's like, I'm doing the work, right? And what I find myself being really attuned when I'm in there to me. Like, I find that there's stuff going on where I'm like, oh, okay, I recognize that. I recognize this, da da da. That's what I love about this thing. So, I am super excited to, continue down this road and continue down this path, because, from a physical perspective, I played a very physical sport. And so my body is kind of wrecked, you know what I mean? And it's probably because I didn't really take care of myself when it was happening, because I was young and, all that. But, and for me, what triggers the emotional is always the physical. Whenever I feel something physical, and I'm also a recovering hypochondriac too. So, so I have so if something's wrong with me physically, it kicks up the emotional stuff as well. And I haven't had any of that in about a month since my 2 sessions. So maybe you can explain that to our audience, what's going on.
Yeah, so essentially, I think what happens when we start working on the nervous system, right? What we're doing is we're teaching our brain like new ways of developing neural pathways of getting us out of that trauma response, right? So when we have trauma responses to things, logic is not there, right? We can physically be sitting in a space and know that we're safe and know that there isn't anything going on around us, but a trigger or a noise or a memory will come up, and it puts us back into that place of the trauma response. And so physically our body is responding as though the trauma is happening to us right at that point in time. And so we're constantly being in that state of hyper awareness, of looking around and waiting for the next thing that's dangerous for us to come at us, right? For those of us that aren't used to being in a place where we are feeling safe, or, that we're not able to feel calm for whatever reason. What we're doing in the harmonic egg is, again, we're reteaching the body that you don't need to have these responses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, for me it's a balance. It's about, I'm a huge believer that our body is telling us to love ourselves, right? There's a book that I work out of with a lot of our clients, that once we actually start looking at the underlying root cause of the physical aches and pains and the dis-ease in our body, and once we figure out the message that our body is trying to tell us, that's when we really start making our leaps and bounds. And that's when we start saying, hey, body, thank you so much for, being a communication center for me, for telling me what's going on a level that I'm not processing on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for showing me what I need to be working on, right? And again, when we're in that, there's something that happens when we're in the harmonic egg where, again, we're able to tap into that part of ourselves where we're able to let go of a lot of emotions. We're able to let go of a lot of that trapped stuff of what's going on for us on a cellular level. And again, on a cellular level, we're using these beautiful frequencies. We're raising our vibrational energy, and we're teaching ourselves a new normal, that we don't need to be in that state of fight and flight and freeze anymore.
So, excuse me, another thing that I love is that, we sort of have science here, which is the vibration and all that, but there's also a very spiritual piece about the egg as well, yep. Right? Because your angel guides are going to show up, yeah, in this process, right? And I've always said, we'll be out of this craziness when spirituality and science actually marry each other, instead of trying to, one being better than the other. I think it's time to come together. And that's what I felt and noticed and experienced, was the spiritual and the science are both in the egg when you're in there.
And, it's so interesting because everybody's experience is so unique, right? Mm-hmm. And so there are a lot of people that really do have those spiritual experiences when they're in there, and, it can be absolutely amazing. There's other people that go in there and they fall asleep, mm-hmm, and they stay the whole time. And, whether it's that they're just not ready for that spiritual experience, or it's just not right for them at that point in time, right? Like, mm-hmm, it doesn't have to be a spiritual experience if that's not something that you're into. But if it is something that you're open to, then it can be pretty mind-blowing for sure. Yeah.
No, it's both of my experiences have been really, really cool. So so what else do you do at the center? What else do you do?
Well, we have a couple different modalities that we do here. So we also do, I have a lady who works here. Her name's Bailey. She's a wonderful holistic nutritional consultant So Bailey works with people. Her specialty is working with women, especially who have hormonal imbalances. She uses food to help bring your body back into balance. But she also does, she works with anybody that's wanting to bring more balance into their life, just using food and trying to figure out, even from a shock perspective, of how we can become more centered and come back online and all of that kind of stuff. I also do one-to-one energy work with people as well. So, you know, it's kind of a mix of Reiki and shaman practices and angelic healing. Sometimes, depending on what I'm called to do, there might be some crystal singing bowls involved. There might be some crystal layouts on people's bodies. I also do a little bit of angelic card readings and just kind of bringing in messages from our guides and stuff like that. And just to kind of help process and move things along for people from a different standpoint for things. So pretty soon we're looking at having another Reiki practitioner that's going to hopefully be coming on board soon. Great. And goes from there. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is a shout out right now to all you men out there who are struggling with, you know, whatever it is you're struggling with. There is I'm being called to ask you men to go heal yourselves, right? Because when the men heal, guess what? We won't be in this situation for very long if the men heal themselves. And guess what? You'll stop abusing your families and your kids and all this stuff that, you know, that you're struggling with. And, you know, we end up taking it out on the people that we love the most. So, you know, and would I be wrong in saying that most of your clients are women?
I would probably say right now we're probably at about 60% women, 40% men. I've been very blessed with having the amount of men come through the door that I do. You know, I think, like you said, you know, I'm a huge advocate for healing on any level for anyone. But, you know, I think a lot of the programming that we have here on planet Earth, especially for men, is that men haven't really ever been given permission to have emotion other than anger. And so they're dealing with a different kind of trapped emotion and a different type of issues than a lot of the women that I see, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we all know what anger is anyways. It's sadness turned inward, right? And I know both sessions that I had little tear rolling down each side of my eye. So we were working on that too at the same time in the egg. So that's a cool thing too. So yeah. So what's your website?
Our website is www.harmonicwellnesscenter.ca.
Okay.
Center is spelled the Canadian way, CENTRE. And if anybody has any questions about anything, you can always contact us through our website. We're actually going to be at the Awaken Expo this weekend in Calgary. It's being held at the Best Western Premier Hotel and Conference Center, just off of 16th Ave and 36th Street, on Saturday from 9 to 5. So, or you can contact me here at the center anytime.
Well, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So all the intuitive and different kind of healers are going to be at this conference?
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few. I think there's 40 different vendors that they have going in this weekend, us being one of them. There's going to be, some psychics, some, I think there's going to be some crystal, like some crystal booths and stuff like that, and people who are intuitives and just different kind of energy healing modalities for sure that'll be there as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Some speakers as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I think
awesome.
From 9 to 6, I think they said.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I just, I'm so grateful and thankful that you reached out to me and said, hey, you want to come try this thing? And, you know, it's definitely going to be my go-to now for sure. I don't think you'll ever be able to get me out of
That's
it.
okay.
So
You can come.
yeah.
I'm very grateful for, everything that you do, from, just bringing everything that you have to light about men and their healing journey, and, talking about your trauma, and that, these things are definitely things that can be healed, and we don't need to be in quiet about them, and we don't need to be in shame about them either. So thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, no problem. All right, my friend, I will see you Friday.
Got it.
Looking forward to it. And again, thank you for taking the time out of your day. And Harmonic Wellness Center.ca.
You got it.
CA. And you will absolutely love working with Kathleen. She is a very gifted therapist. So enjoy, and let us know how you love the harmonic egg.
Thank you so much, Theo. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.